My non-playoff beard to your playoff beard. Let's shift to the NFL here. What are your thoughts and what is your approach on playoff football as opposed to your regular season betting? Can you give us a little bit of secret sauce into how you go about your playoff picks?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of information now, right? So my approach is, for the most part, to just stay the same. What I was doing in the regular season, not much is going to change. It's really tough. So if there is one change, I probably would suggest it's to flush the highlight reel that you have in your mind of each team, because we've seen a lot of great plays from each team, right? You got to flush it and forget that the playoffs is a completely new season. And just look at the big picture. And when I look at the big picture, there are a couple of stats that I kind of key in on that help me identify who teams really are. And that's stuff like yards per play and third down conversion percentage. You look at that kind of stuff and you can really figure out who teams are at the core. And that's obviously over a large sample size for the whole season.
I love that. Yards per play and third down conversion. That's why you're sharp. How about in terms of when you like to fire in the NFL week? You, of course, have closing line value. Then you have opening lines. We've already seen some lines move. I saw the Niners down to 2.5. Then it got right back to 3. Do you have any process with when you fire on playoff week?
Yeah, for sure. And this is also something, you can do all season long. When the lines open up, if you like a dog, more than likely that number you're seeing is the best number that you're going to get. A perfect example would be that Bengals-Raiders line, right? I think they opened up with the Bengals 6.5-point favorites. Now it's all the way down to 5.5. So a lot of people grab that 6.5 right away. And you probably won't see that again. So if you like a number, grab it, because there's no guarantees that it's going to be there. More times than not, that's going to be with the dog in those situations.
And how about division rivals dancing in the playoffs? We have the Patriots and Bills. We have the Cardinals and the Rams, both teams split in the regular season. How do you go into your mindset and approach when you have division opponents that have played twice? Do you like to go back in the regular season and pick apart those games to help better get you to a number that you like or a side?
Well, it's tough because these are just those are two teams that are very familiar with each other, right? They played each other twice. Specifically, when you're looking at that Patriots-Bills game, remember one of those games was with the crazy wind and weather, and there's not a whole lot you can really take away from that one. But I tend to think that those games are going to be a little bit tighter than the games with opponents that aren't familiar with each other, right? That's why that 4 or whatever you're seeing is probably on the shorter end of the numbers we're seeing for the whole weekend. But these lines, the NFL lines, are razor sharp. So more times than not, just take the points. Take the points.
And on a momentum from the end of the regular season into the playoffs, let's say the Niners, one of the hottest teams here, winning 6 of their last 8 to get in. Do you look at teams getting hot at the right time? And we know the history of the wild card team that makes a run in the Super Bowl. I don't know if this season's a little different for you, but how much are you looking at teams, even the Raiders on a 4-game winning streak to wrap it up, going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't really pay too close attention to momentum. Me personally, I don't really believe in momentum. It's just a personal thing. But, it's the playoffs. Everyone's 0-0, right? What I tend to look at when it's playoff time is coaches and quarterbacks. More times than not, the teams with the better coaching and the better quarterback are going to handle business in the playoffs when it really matters.
And on an underdog note, a wild card, if you will, this weekend, wild card weekend, one of the best weekends in NFL for many and for bettors. Do you see any upsets? If you were to put your money on any team to outright win, or if you don't like any upsets, do you at least like a dog with points?
Yeah, I haven't bet it yet, but I really like the Cardinals. The Cardinals have been great on the road this season and actually have been incredible as road underdogs. 6-0 this season as road dogs. I'm somewhat concerned about that Cardinals offense without DeAndre Hopkins, but I just don't trust Matt Stafford and the Rams. They've really struggled this year against good teams, and the Cardinals are a really good team.
Matt Stafford yet to win a playoff game as well. A little pressure going into that one. Do you have a best bet for the weekend before we get you out of here?
Yeah, the Cardinals would probably be my best bet, but another underdog that I really like the Niners. I don't know if it's going to make to the window yet for me. But this is a Niners team that is averaging 6.1 yards per play. I think that's first in the league. And I think they're going to be able to run all over the Cowboys. I don't know if their defense is going to be able to stand up. So maybe the over is the play in that game. I believe it was at 51. So maybe the over is the play, but that's another play that I really like aside from the Cardinals.